All right, with that, I'll open the public hearing, and we have two people listed. Ms. McGuffin, you are gonna read a statement on behalf of Aaron Naylor.
Yes, sir. Members of council, I am writing in support of the proposed amendment of Chapter 20, Article 1, creating a new section prohibiting loud exhaust. As residents of the town of Amherst living in the business district of South Main Street, my wife and I have been firsthand witnesses to the steady rise of egregiously loud vehicle exhaust since changes to state law in 2020. The limitations were quickly exploited by some for an array of vehicle modifications, one being a trend towards modifying exhaust systems in a manner that serves no purpose beyond being disruptive and attention-seeking as possible. The effect is especially pronounced in the business district where buildings are both tighter and higher than in the residential area to the north, which I know from talking to fellow residents also suffer mightily despite the reduced echo and reflection. Coupled with the single traffic light in town that provides an opportunity to accelerate from a stop or when turning from 2nd Street onto South Main, the volume can be outright deafening if you are unfortunate enough to be on the sidewalk when one or sometimes a pack of these vehicles drives by. Despite double pane windows, thick walls, and sound deadening insulation, we often have to cease conversation, apologize to parties on the other end of conference calls during work hours, and pause or rewind TV shows until vehicles have passed. In most cases, one can continue to hear the vehicles for what seems to be like miles down the road as they arrogantly spread their noise pollution the length of town. While I respect the creativity and mechanical skills in many vehicle modifications, turning one's exhaust into what amounts to a vehicular cannon simply for the performative sake of annoying others crosses a line that does measurable harm to the livability of the town. Lastly, for those questioning the basis for making a related traffic stop, I feel the common sense guidelines defined in the amendment are reasonable, paired with the obvious and provable fact that the exhaust has been modified from its factory default configuration. Please vote in support of this amendment to the code and enable our town police to immediately begin to enforce the changes in state law. Aaron Naylor, whose quiet, comfort, and repose has most definitely been unreasonably disturbed.
And the next one is Miss, I'm still not gonna try it for you. Oh,
Son of Martha.
Son of Martha. Yes, I was just gonna say Angela. Okay, you have 3 minutes, ma'am.
All right, I come with nothing written, so I'm just going off the top of my head here. I will just briefly tell you my experience in town now that I work and live. I live on 2nd Street now and I work right there. And yes, it is very obnoxious and very loud, and I jump a mile. I'm a very jumpy person, so when people gun it through the town, I go, ah! And then I'm like, well, that sucked, that's annoying, and I'm literally forget about it within 3 seconds. That's my amount of annoyance. It's about 3 to 5 seconds. And then I'm off to the next thing. And yes, it is annoying. But is it annoying enough to slam somebody with a $250 fine? Is it annoying enough for our police officers to have to be a judge of people's mechanical nuances? I believe the state inspection covers such things. Why do we take what the state inspection can put a sticker on your car and say whether or not you're compliant with the law, and then, you know, have these guys be redundant? I mean, I think they have better things to do with their time. We also, for the amount of people that come through here, I would say it's about for me, from my experience, it'd be like 3 to 5 vehicles a day, maybe. I hardly see that as a problem, just saying. Just because the state's doing it doesn't mean our town of 2,800 people has to do it. We are just a speck compared to the county. And I think it's not really a big deal to be putting all this time and effort into it. And